Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Internet.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome.
High five.
Real life.
Yeah. Welcome to Roll for Revelry. We are doing like a little just kind of hanging out, chatting. Clearly excited for the... What's the name of the Critical Role campaign that is starting tonight?
EXU.
Does it mean anything, or is it just XU?
It's the, what is it? The Exandria Unlimited?
It's a great name, though, for EXU.
Yeah.
We are doing this every once in a while, just kind of hanging out, trying to be on Twitch just a little bit more often, as we are trying to hit affiliate, and we are extremely close. We should hit it probably June 31st. Oh wait, July 1st.
Yeah, June 31st doesn't exist.
No,
They took that
it's
away.
just June 1st.
They
took
took
that
that
away.
Yeah, they shut that down real quick.
They took that away bad.
Yeah.
They did not want anyone to enjoy that too much.
Yeah.
What's new?
No, nothing. Just hanging out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I played Dark Alliance for the first time.
Yeah, how was it?
On Tuesday night. It's okay. There's no character creation, which is a bummer.
It's like such a weird thing too, because like D&D, like you literally have an entire session dedicated to character creation,
I would hope so.
plus some. You know, like yeah, exactly. I would hope so. I'd hope you have, Granted, I don't know. Like, I guess technically, if you get a what is it? If you get the base kit, it does come with
Essentials kit.
The Essentials kit. It does come with pre-generated characters. So.
And this is basically just a video game Essentials kit. Is kind of how I
Yeah.
felt
So
on
maybe.
it. But there's
Maybe
no
it's
wizards.
like a homebrew is coming thing.
Homebrew is coming.
Yeah, or like customizations in general. Yeah, it's not even, what is it? It's a bunch of martial classes, right?
Yeah, there's fighters. There is a fighter. There is a barbarian. There is a fighter with a bow, better than a
okay.
ranger, and then there is a ranger, a drow ranger, who apparently is like the party lead, which.
And granted, this may be different because I'm not caught up on the storyline, and that's like apparently a thing. Is like there is a story to it, and that is something that I don't know.
Oh, let there be light.
Yeah.
I thought that they were all on already.
Apparently there's a story to it. I don't follow the story. That's not me. We don't play Forgotten Realms, so again, that's like a little, just some of those things that it may be super cool in terms of lore, it may be right on the point of what it's supposed to be doing, but I think what doesn't hit home with everybody that is a D&D in the D&D community.
Yeah. I haven't played Icewind Dale, but it seems like that is kind of the theme. Is like it starts like the cutscene, if you will, the intro to the game is like these goblins kind of coming in and very Saruman's minion style. They're coming in and they're like, oh, we're gonna raise an army, and then a dragon comes in and they're like, oh, it's ice whoever, and then it's like it's actually Icewind, which is the partner of Ice whoever. Forgive me, Internet, for not knowing this. Icedale, sure. And it is a little, I mean, D&D is like world creation is all kind of about diving in right away, and there's not like a learning curve. It's just like you're just in it kind of thing. And so I appreciated that a little bit about it. That said, I'm probably gonna I will probably play a little bit more this weekend just to explore the characters a little bit. It seems that the fighter with a bow, go figure, is a little overpowered. As in they're just kind of sitting in the back, just knocking people off, which is kind of exactly what you would expect a fighter with a bow to do.
That's what a fighter with a bow is supposed to do.
Yes, provide support.
Like, even like we don't have a lot of ranged fighters. I guess Ada throws 2 axes and then he's in the shit.
Yeah, and then he's like,
I don't have any more weapons. He has a bow.
I hope that it took him out because that's all that we kind of had going.
Yeah.
I that said, I think if you got a computer, or if I don't even know if it has crossplay. Hey intern, pull up if Dark Alliance has crossplay, because if it does, it would be awesome to have like you and Bob playing, or like finding a group on any type of Discord or anything like that through like Adventuring Guild or Hope, or finding like a group to play with. Seems to be the way of like, all right, here's your pre-made characters. You're gonna run through this campaign that's in 3 acts, and you could do that in a night if you wanted, or you can do 30-minute increments at a time. It seems like it's for the busy D&D player, not for the everyday D&D player, maybe. And I mean, especially with what the COVID-19 global pandemic has done, is for me really has drawn a lot of attention to how easy it is to play with a lot of like virtual tabletops, for example. I know like Roll20 is super popular. I wish D&D Beyond had like more of a VTT kind of aspect to it that was integrated with its system. But we are seeing a lot of small streamers and large streamers alike still doing everything on Discord. And we're fortunate enough to live in the same town. We're all vaccinated aggressively because we trust science and doctors and such, unlike some folks. Well, we won't talk about that because they're just dumb. And like we can play in person in the studio that we've kind of put together, and that's not a luxury that everyone has, for sure. And not like we're, you know, hyper rich folk or anything. This is just a table that we got at a estate sale, and some curtains that you had in your upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, we mentioned this on Twitter too, is like how we set up our studio, and we have thicker curtains. We tried to find, you know, the texture to try to alleviate some of the sound. We're gonna expand some of our soundproofing and what's the other term, like audio treatment here in the near future. We have lights. We bought a couple lights off of
Not Amazon,
yeah,
similar to Amazon
sites. We bought a couple cameras. They're just web cameras.
Yeah,
you can actually. Oh, you can't see it because of the
thing
right there, but
I have it.
It's fine.
Stuck in there.
I mean, I'm sure it's on some of our streams. It's somewhere.
It is the Logitech C920.
Yeah,
and we could not recommend that camera enough. I do have the C170, which is awful. But you really get what you pay for when it comes to webcams. And we have a Blue Snowball, which is probably one of the more popular microphones around. And we don't really have more than that. Everything is kind of bare bones, and we're not really there yet. You know, we are on our way of getting some soundproofing, getting some different light box kind of stuff. And also one of the lights that we got burned out the bulb. Not the bulb itself, but the connection to it. So you kind of get what you pay for with those lights as well, I'm sure. So I don't really see... I see us getting better equipment as we go along, but it will take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I work at a brewery. You work at a woodworking studio, if you will. My wife's a social worker. Your wife works at a dispensary. Bob works for DTE, so he's, you know, DTE people are okay. But we don't make a ton of money. Would you like to plug the coffee, Ko-Fi?
No.
Well, we already just did.
You just did. Excellent. Look at that. Nailed it.
Killing the game.
Yep.
I believe you had a couple things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we were talking about topics, and we thought we were gonna have a guest, and unfortunately, things didn't work out in our favor for that. We had
there was a family emergency unfortunately, and we wish them all the best, and we'll catch them another time.
Yeah,
that's just kind of the way it goes. If anyone plays D&D for any amount of time, you know what happens with life and how sessions can
life finds a way.
Life does indeed find a way.
But yeah, well, we were kind of like, all right, well, what do we want to talk about? And one of the things that I've been wanting to talk about is items, and just items in general, how players use items, how DMs delve out items, how, what magic items compared to, I guess, I don't want to say mundane, but like general items, and like
Yeah.
how do you use general items? Like, do you use those 1,000 ball bearings that are in your, in your kit that you start with because your background or anything like that? So
I can't believe Kata hasn't, because I think Kata has ball bearings in his kit, hasn't like spread them along a floor as we're like escaping something.
I think that's the key. And we'll, like, let's start there. Let's start talking about general items. And we will
You just slow blinked at me because I
yeah.
general items.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's yep.
This is our entirety of our D&D session.
Yeah,
I
it's
say
not-
something and AJ slow blinks at me,
And
or I do something cool and he's like, "Yeah, dope monk shit."
See the dope monk shit, or dude, it's like astonishing how many times I cringe at work when I'm just listening to our own. I'm listening to our own podcast, and I'm like, man. And now that I'm like listening to it again, I'm like, I started from the beginning, and we're re-listening to all of the episodes. I want to do a 15 episode recap, and then we're gonna start introducing recaps and allowing anybody to just kind of like watch a recap, and then you can jump right in. You don't need to start from the beginning to know exactly what's going on. So it'll be like short little 10-minute recaps, that kind of stuff.
Are you gonna do it in limerick fashion like
No,
you did that
no.
one time?
No, that was my ADHD kicking in when I sit down to prep. And the thing is, if I sit down to prep, I sat down to prep that dungeon that you guys ran through probably 2 months ago, and it was just like me, like, all right, cool, I gotta prep. What are they gonna do after this goblin farm? And then I'm like, let's build a dungeon. And 12 episodes, sessions later, and 2 months later, we're like, all right, cool, well, we finally get to use it. So,
Yes.
But yeah, items. We're talking about items. We're not talking
sure
about
were.
We're not talking about prep.
That's the number one item on the list is items.
It's items. Top of the list, items. General items, ball bearings. We're talking about ball bearings. You can spread them over the floor. I think that's like the gist, or like almost the first go-to.
Slingshot, maybe?
Yes, slingshot.
You'd make a noise somewhere else with them?
Noise somewhere else. Finding depth of like of a pit.
Oh, yeah.
You drop it and hear the pain. I don't know what a ball bearing sounds like when it hits the ground.
Do your best impression.
So yeah, exactly. It's just like that. I don't know.
The slow blink is heavy.
But yeah. So what are some items that you had? Do you know what's in your backpack? That's the other thing. Do players know what's in their backpacks?
I will bring up my #D&D Beyond account right now.
Okay.
But I will say that my favorite personal item is my floor-to-wall candelabra.
Yeah.
Made out of adamantine.
New item too.
Yes, and
It's crispy
it
new.
crits on items, which is cool. Speaking of
Objects, yeah.
or on objects, excuse me.
No, that's cool. I'm just correcting you.
Yeah, that's kind of what DMs do, especially forever ones.
Tell me about it.
Which, by the way, if
someone else.
anyone wants that is a DM out there and wants to run a one-shot, AJ loves making characters that are super easy and fun to deal with. Here are some items that I have.
Fun to easy to deal with.
No, knowledge clerics are fucking awful for any DM to deal with, and
I didn't know what I was running into, and I thought it was like helping you, like, 'cause I don't know what I was
no,
doing.
yeah, I get it. Like I understand the thought process behind it, and it was my fault for not doing
tell you
enough
this much.
preparation on that.
I'll tell you this much: if first and foremost, if you want to run a one shot, hit us up. Talk to us. Maybe we'll have a player for you. We might have a DM for you. If you're curious, we might. We're totally down for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
On the other side, I feel like I have some whatever. I have some good characters. I'm not letting you bring me down like that.
Oh yeah, that's on me.
I've
I've had a great Thursday as well, so I need to bring it down just a little bit. I've used Marxus has used the water skin, the mount towards the beginning. Had attempted to use the hempen rope at some point, to like try and like, no, we need to subdue this individual. torch,
Hempen rope is a big one.
tinderbox.
Any rope is a big one. I think it's the other option.
You and
Silken
your
rope.
fucking rope.
That's good.
Thank you.
Silk rope. I don't know what would silk rope. How would you differentiate silk rope? Silk rope before.
It's feel.
Yeah, but like, what would you use a silk rope for that you wouldn't use a hempen rope for?
Probably if I have a Smeagol behind me, I would probably use the elven silken rope. That's Lord of the Rings reference. He has the elven rope that Frodo uses on his hands. And he's like, it burns.
Oh wait, that's why it was burning him?
I believe so, because it was elven silk.
I didn't know it.
Intern, check
I thought he was
Pull
just
that
being a whiny fucking prisoner.
that. Oh, well, yes, correct. I don't know. I feel like you would use like silk rope to like, if you're sewing something nicely, you would use hempen rope that's probably a little bit more roughshod on the outside.
Yeah, I would imagine
like twine,
hempen
I'm
rope is like,
imagining.
if you think of rope, that is what they're referring to.
Like sailor rope.
Like rope, yeah.
Like
But I
rope
don't.
rope.
Yeah, I guess I
Is
don't know.
like
what
silk rope maybe more like a paracord kind of thing,
Maybe. Ooh, I didn't think of that.
like woven together instead of just stranded, braided in.
Huh. Yeah, it looks like it's much finer. I'll tell you that.
I would argue that hemp is not as fine as silk. Absolutely. Agreed. The internet's not gonna like that statement. Yeah, I think silk rope would be used more. And how much does it come out? Like, does it come out in the same 50-foot measurement, or is it a smaller,
Yeah, I think
shorter
it's 50
measurement?
foot.
Because if it's a shorter measurement, then that
It's
leads me
50
to
foot.
believe that it's like for
I guess yeah, it's like a matter of like having finer like skin. It's like choose your rope. Do you want skinny rope or do you want thick rope?
thick boy rope.
In the thick rope, the same footage is twice the weight.
Oh. Man, nobody ever uses encumbrance anyways.
Yeah, we don't use encumbrance, but
That's like using an action to drink a potion.
I mean, there's a form of encumbrance that I would like be like, hey, dude, you can't have 13 swords on you. Like, what do you do? Like, sell them.
We'll
Sell
throw them.
Like, figure that. Yeah, throw them. Go ahead.
And I
Yeah.
will pick them up.
See how that works.
What's throwing swords not cool, but throwing axes is?
I don't think. Well, axes they have a throw ability to them.
Yeah, that's true. Swords. If as a DM, if I were to be like throw a sword,
Mhm.
what would like be your thought process?
It would be an
behind
improvised. I think it would be improvised weapon.
thrown
It would
improvised
be
weapon.
thrown at disadvantage. You probably wouldn't get your attack bonus from your proficiency.
Okay.
So you're throwing with whatever your plus dex is at disadvantage.
Oh.
Because like
No, I'm not
dex,
gonna be throwing no swords then.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is like, it's a rough call, and if you don't have, I don't know, it's an interesting call. I guess it could vary, but
You could very verily.
all right, yeah. What do you and what do we got? We've got
Crowbar.
Abacus, acid, alchemist fire. That's a big like you could use that.
Yeah, we could absolutely use alchemist fire.
Antitoxins. You guys don't get poison one. Yeah,
Yep.
you should be. We'll change that.
Not one individual in the party has any type of anti potion.
Backpack,
Very
barrel,
anti-poison.
basket. Oh, yeah, what? Like, why are you carrying a bat? Is it a
Oh, I'm picturing like a wheat
is
basket.
it a basket?
You know?
Yeah.
Like maybe on your back and you got stalks of wheat in there or
Okay.
something.
Bell,
I would imagine.
blanket, block, and tackle. Oh, that's like a little fishing.
No, block and tackle is like if you need to raise a bale of hay up into the barn.
No.
Yeah, it's the block that the pulley's on.
Really?
Yeah, and then the tackle is the rope.
I thought a block and tackle
like,
was
the hook.
like the block version that you'd use for like fishing.
I think that's just tackle.
Yeah, but it's like you wrap it around a block and instead it's a type of
Oh, like survival
rudimentary
fishing.
rudimentary fishing.
Been watching a lot of Alone lately.
Oh yeah, how was it?
Yeah, fantastic.
Huh.
Excellent. You see these people like catching all these rabbits and squirrels and fishes and stuff, and they're using their teeth basically to do it.
Yeah, I
And,
think
like,
it's just fish.
what?
I think it's just fish. There's not fishes. There's fish.
What if fishes were wishes? Would you do the dishes? Items.
Bottles, books, buckets, caltrops. See, that caltrops is what you want. You throw it down and it scatters and see where we're at.
What do your caltrops look like, and why are they Legos?
And why are they? That's the most dangerous caltrop. That's the best, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a dragon would step on that and be like, oh, or however dragons talk.
Unless it's a Lego dragon, then you're just making it stronger.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like putting a nuke into the thing that kills Superman. Spoiler
Kryptonite?
alert. No. Kryptonite just weakens him.
I think enough of it could kill him.
In the Man of Steel, or no, Batman vs Superman. Not Darkseid, but this is your whatever Superman.
Demise? I don't know what you're talking about.
Doomsday. That's his name.
Oh.
This is your Doomsday, Superman.
The off-brand apocalypse.
Yeah, we could talk about the Snyderverse forever.
Could we? Do you watch the black and white one? The Snyder cut?
Oh yeah, the 4:3 ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a 14-hour watch time.
Yeah, I after I got like to the end of it was like, yeah, I enjoyed that. And they had like the nightmare
Yeah,
kind of
it
thing
was
at
good.
the end. Was
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Like Jared Leto's Joker is not as good as Heath Ledger's, but it's up there.
It's not bad. It's I'll tell you, it was not as impressive for the ramp up. I think that it was like, oh, Jared Leto, yeah, it's gonna be awesome once. And then at least me, because I'm like looking up online, I'm like, oh yeah, he's at this 30 Seconds of Mars concert. He laughed out loud like the Joker. You're just trying his thing, and it's like, all right, it's gonna be cool. But turns out it was less of that. There wasn't a lot of him in the movie either.
No, it's just I think it was just at the end there for that like part of it. Right?
Yeah,
The whole, like, nightmare escape
for that
kind of
one,
deal.
I was referring to, what was the other one? Suicide Squad too.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't in it a lot.
No, well, I don't know. I feel like the Suicide Squad is like about villains dying
Sure.
more than.
That'd be a cool campaign to run. Suicide Squad like group. Everybody's like was a fucking bad guy, but now they
have to like do good.
have to do good.
Or
Instead
like
of what is the
their
reverse.
definition
Like,
of
oh hey, I grew up in a perfectly normal family with no trauma, and I'm gonna go adventuring, and then all of a sudden you guys are killing kids and like robbing blind folk,
yeah, jumping borders and killing all the
jumping
guards,
borders, killing
leaving
guards.
one alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Digging holes.
Yeah, when's the last time Kato started digging a hole?
I'm only on episode 8, but last time was episode 8.
Oh, so you could just say
As I'm cycling back
that
through,
one.
it's pretty much any of them that if you're on an episode, he's digging a hole.
Yeah, that's true. More items.
Candle, case. Oh, case for crossbows or case for map and scroll. I don't know. I don't think you understand. Like, I think you should have like just some like cartographer's kit.
Yeah,
There's
that's
some
cartographer's
maps
tools. I believe is the. Like,
oh, there's like a thing. Okay.
Yeah, cartographer's tools. I believe are a thing.
Yeah.
Not as cool as most of the other tools that are out there, but I'm kind of a map nerd.
So much so that you threw out the map. You are a map nerd.
I am a map nerd. Here is a map. Ooh, look! You can see yourself, internet. It's like the Time Person of the Year when YouTube was big. I don't know why I put up a mirror on the stream. That was kind of dumb. But hey, watch us try.
Most definitely. Yeah. No. I made a map for you guys to give to you guys, and Dan just told me he threw it out.
Well, you had it in a grocery bag.
It wasn't in a grocery bag.
It was
a grocery bag. It was a folded up, tri-folded.
Oh no! If it was, I think I threw out a bag.
Oh, okay. Well, then it might be around here. We'll see.
Yeah, it's probably stacked in the Valhalla
No,
screen.
I don't understand. I wouldn't believe that. Anyways, maps, map cases.
Yes.
All kinds of goodies. I don't know, man. Like, what would you use this kind of stuff for?
I think that's the thing about like being green at D&D and live streaming is like I don't know until the situation kind of comes along, and then it's like then you notice it in your inventory and you're like, oh, that's what I need to use right now.
So here's like a tip then. Do you like if you come across a conundrum, are you aware of what's in your inventory? Are you going through occasionally reminding yourself what's in your inventory?
I do find myself going through my inventory list a little bit more often than I should, just to kind of keep myself fresh. And I don't really like I don't really have anything hyper special like in my backpack kit, if you will. I have my normal backpack, bedroll, clothes, crowbar. I could use that quite a bit. Probably could have used that on busting out that grate in order to get out of the situation. But I don't see a I would like to be more cognizant and aware of items when I see them, and like the gear necklaces and
that was cool because that
like
wasn't
wrapped.
Like spoiler alert, that wasn't. It was 5 because the ties to 5-headed dragons. And like when you were like 5, sure, this sounds good. That was like a clutch move. That was cool.
Hey, I'm a clutch individual.
That's what they call him.
You call them. That's why I have shifty eyes. It's because I'm so
Shifty
clutch.
eyes. Shifty eyes. They're watching. No.
Keep going.
No, I'm right.
No, keep going, man.
I'm good.
What is, as a DM, are there items that you've given us that we were just like, nah?
Yeah, you have some of them.
Okay.
You guys, there's items you guys currently have, and you're like, whatever.
Like, should we try to like identify them?
Yeah, and that's the other aspect too. Is like I don't know. Like I'm not a believer in what we like. We'll jump into magic items now. I'm not a believer in. Oh, I've spent an hour with this item. I now know its ins and outs and everything it can do. That doesn't make sense to me.
I kind of figured you were like meditating on it. And
yeah,
like,
but then why? Like, why is there a?
It's like reaching out to you, kind of thing, in a good or evil way. That was kind of how I always viewed it. It was like you're.
Well, what if it's not like? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Kind of like, all right, another Lord of the Rings reference. When Gandalf like sees the ring and Bilbo does like his trick or whatever, right? On his 117th birthday or whatever.
113. Right?
Sure.
He's 113. He's 113.
Yep, sure. We're gonna go with that. Anyways, where he's like, oh, I feel like I've experienced this somewhere before. Let me go do research on it. And like he goes,
oh, he just went in short rested.
Well, yeah, for a decent amount of time, but like then he finds out, he like reads one thing about it.
Isn't it an
like,
extended?
Yes.
Yeah, but like he went to a library.
I only watched the extended versions.
Oh yeah, so he went to a library. He left. He did some research on it.
Yeah,
that's not you sitting for an hour in game time.
No, that's
so
correct.
And that's where like if you guys. I don't know. It's so tricky because it's not like I don't want it to be an immediate thing. I don't. You know, there's cooler things that can happen, and then it also kind of takes away that like experimental phase.
Sure.
Of like, what does this do, and figuring out what this does, and yeah. Like
when I picked up the candelabra, the floor candelabra for the first time, and just like swung it around, and
yeah,
Marxus had learned like, oh, it feels like lighter in your hands, and you feel like. Kind of like Valyrian steel in Game of Thrones. Like it's not like magical, but it just enhances whatever abilities that you currently have.
Kind of that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And so like that's when I was like, oh, okay, well, and then like took a long rest with it, and then like identified it as adamantine, and was like, or adamantine. It's adamant that we know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But like getting that that understanding of it kind of thing, and it's not If you're a fighter, maybe it's swinging the magical sword around. If you are a wizard, it's maybe meditating on it. If you are a druid, it's maybe like, I don't know, throwing an animal on it or something. Whatever druids do.
Yeah, for sure. What you doing there? What you got? An item?
Perhaps a magical item, actually. We'll have to attune to it. No, I work at a brewery, and so I brought some beer to AJ's coworkers.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, he works at Dogmite.
I do work at Dogmite.
Head of milling.
I am.
He's got a bunch of things he cannot talk about, but he's super excited to tell us about when he can.
Mm-hmm.
And they have every week. Is it weekly?
Yeah.
So it's like on Fridays they have a meeting at like 3:30, end at 4, and it's just like the bosses going over like, hey, here's where we're at this week. We're working on this. Here's some cool things coming up. Great job on this.
Yeah.
And then they have a box that they open up that it's like a kudos box. We're like, hey, kudos to you. Thank you for doing this cool thing.
Is kudos a candy bar?
Kudos.
Cookie?
It's a like cookie bar with chocolate and then like M&Ms on top, and it could be all sorts of different candies.
Oh.
But it's like a oatmeal rice
Like a
bar.
granola. A fake granola bar where they're like,
Even
it's
just like
kinda
a
healthy.
terrible for you, but still it looks healthy if you don't know anything about eating healthy. Like me.
Yeah.
But anyways, AJ was the employee of the week, had the most kudos while he was playing with Sawdust. He didn't even know. And since I brought beer, the winner gets to pick into the chest of treasures or whatever it's called. And AJ gave me the rights, and so I grabbed a Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck from 2020. And I figured while we're just doing this, we're just going to go through a little unboxing on it and just kind of check out what it is. I remember playing a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was like in middle school, high school, and like collected like a bunch of things. My brother was kind of going through the cards at my parents' house this weekend and found like a rare version of a Dark Magician or whatever, but this is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game structure deck Spirit Charmers. And
I don't know what's going on.
here is
To answer
some
your
type
question.
of...
I have no idea.
Here
We're
is
supposed to talk about D&D.
Yep. It is a game mat of sorts. Oh, yes. So this side is the game mat here. And then we have all of the rules on how to play, apparently. You can keep asking me questions. I'm going to go through it as we go along. But
I'm just saying. We had somebody who popped in the chat and they were like, hey, what's going on here? And then this is happening. So this is not quite what we expect. So,
Vortexus. Art thou shall know me as the most high lord and low. Sorry if this is not your voice and I'm just being rude. You shall know beings of unfathomable might, call me master. And the most divine quiver at presence. I was the beginning of order, the tamer of chaos, and bringer of civilization. Book 6, chapter 6, passage 6. Book of... Oh, why does it say it's Charles Julius Scroll? What's going on here? That's exactly what we were actually going to ask you, man. What is going on here? I do like that it's book 6, chapter 6, passage 6. 666. Who is this devilish individual?
Asmodeus.
Introduce us more into this book of Asmodeus. Asmodeus.
Asmodeus is is like the god of the devils in like D&D.
Oh, knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge domain cleric.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. You're going to be our DM real quick, Vortexus. I am I'm just going to make it boring. I'm a human fighter, sword and shield. He is a knowledge domain cleric. That's what's going on here. No, we play D&D on Sundays. We like hanging out. We're trying to hit affiliate.
We're trying to chat about D&D.
We're trying to chat about D&D.
That's all we're doing right
I'm
now.
opening up a Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck. As you can see, this is the player pad. No, we're just a couple of weirdos hanging out on the internet talking about things.
Yeah.
And you're writing Archdevil scriptures for your campaign. They're going to a city that has a grand temple to the 9 Archdevils.
I mean, if you're gonna read that's good. That sounded good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good scripture.
It's excellent scripture. Better than any Bible verse I've heard.
We won't go there, but it's good. It's good stuff.
Did we do the voice right? If you were to read this, AJ, what voice would you do?
I mean, if it's Asmodeus, you gotta go deep in maybe or you know what? I don't know. My initial reaction is like deep and growly, but then now that I think about it, I think it's more of a deep, sultry, like almost like a
seducey
seductive.
kind of way?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
excellent.
Asmodeus is like a, like you're the god of you're the archest of devils, man.
Like a hunchback.
Man.
Archers of devils. What? No, come on, man.
Get
That was
it.
excellent.
Yeah. The fact that I get the joke isn't the issue.
Gonna be said by a tiefling cleric of order when they finally arrive in the city proper. Ooh.
That's cool.
Tell us more about the city proper. And
The city proper is like the city.
no, I know what a city proper means, but tell us more about the city overall.
Okay.
Like, as they're approaching the city, are there farms with windmills? Is it more of steps up with farming community? Is it just built into the side of a mountain? Is it a former dwarven excavation that was taken over by high elves and they did their high elf shit and made cool, crazy things happen? Yeah. Uh-oh, my wife's calling me. I gotta go.
Busted.
I'm in super trouble.
Well, yeah, so before we were talking about that, we were talking about items. And before we opened up a Yu-Gi-Oh deck for some reason, we were talking about items. So, looking at items, what kind of items, how do you, as a DM, how do you dish out items? What constitutes whether or not a item is a good item to give certain characters? Do you give them to certain characters? Do you try to kind of allow that to facilitate itself and just kind of give them items or have them happen upon items and have them dish them out to themselves, each other? I'll tell you, I look at a lot of roll tables. I like rolling random items. And I roll random, and if I don't like it, I skip it and I re-roll. But that's a good way to go through the book without having to like read each individual item specifically and find an answer for it. That way you can kind of like, peruse the books, the items, that kind of whole thing without having to necessarily read through it all and also not necessarily be dedicated to a specific thing. Barony of Asmodeus, the main city as Asmodea. There's smaller towns just arriving before the Messiah. Population is mainly tieflings. That makes sense. Now, well, my understanding, and it may be just like my world or my understanding, but like a tiefling is like a half breed of between a half bred between a devil and a human, or really any other race. So it's interesting that there's a city for it. Being just spawn. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's interesting that like this city. So this city had a population before. Huh. Sounds cool. Everything all right, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
It's the joys of being a homeowner.
What was overflowing?
No, nothing was overflowing. Gina has broke the shower handle for a record 4th time now.
Oof.
I'm going to just
Quit taking angry showers.
We made a joke the last time she broke it that I need to draw all of her baths from now.
That's what she wants. That's what she's getting to.
I think she's doing it. You did a Christmas Story, like you did that on purpose. No, she feels terrible. It's totally fine. It's just an old shower, and the handle is plastic, and it just broke again. So
Good American metal handle is what you need.
It's a fucking Moen. You'd think it'd be.
I don't know. I'm just fucking around.
You know what you need? You don't need any of that titanium.
Oh my god.
Well, you've never heard somebody called Chinese titanium?
No.
What? It's in the name. Chinese titanium. It's just a portmanteau.
What does that mean?
Oh, it's like if you're looking off the left of the ship and then you point with your toe. A man's toe.
What is that?
Oh, portmanteau.
Portmanteau?
Portmanteau is have less BDSM shower ball. How did you know? No, a portmanteau is like if you take you take two words and you smash them together and make one word. Such as
a wombo.
Chinese titanium.
A wombo.
A wombo?
Yeah, a wombo, a word combo.
Shut up.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. As far as items, Vortexus, we appreciate you. I recently doled some out to my party. I thought you said dolled some out, and I was like, God. But doled some out to the party. They hit level 5. So you pulled them all aside leading to the next session and ran them. Little solo adventures where they either got an item appropriate to the class or they got a little flip.
That's cool.
That reminds
like
me
that.
of our first campaign.
When did we do the first campaign?
I was playing a paladin, and Cord was my deity, and I had picked like lightning smite essentially, and it was using that like almost exclusively because why would you not smite literally everything? And if you can use a glaive and lightning powers it up as it goes along, fuck yeah, that's what this game is about.
Yeah.
And there was a I was watching the campfire at night while everyone was sleeping, and then all of a sudden like there was this like dreamscape.
God, it blows me
that,
away
like,
that I
went
don't
through.
remember this.
No, there was this dreamscape that happened to Gronk Wagglebottoms, which was still a top 5 character name in my book.
Oh yeah.
And Gronk Wagglebottoms found himself at the edge of a cliff, and these lightning clouds were there, and they started speaking, and I had to fight like lightning sprites essentially.
Oh yeah, methods.
And sure.
Yeah.
And ended up being like a religious experience because paladin,
cool.
and there would be nothing more religious experience than fighting lightning itself with lightning on the top of a mountain, screaming at the fjord like, ah! It was dope.
Now we didn't have we didn't have flavor abilities, or we didn't have special items per se, but we did run little quick, one of the little like one shots, one-on-one sessions.
Yeah.
And so our last campaign only took us to level 6. So at level 5, we started at level 5 for this campaign. So our level 5 campaign, we were like, all right, cool. Well, what happened between levels 1 and 5? We did a little one shot, and
You were the Alchemist Artificer. Sorry,
basically took that's smart. That's dope.
Yeah, that's fun.
We basically took levels 1, 3, and 5 and gave you 3 encounters, and I broke that down, and then it was like kind of what were you doing here, what were you doing there, and then how did you gain your subclass, and like that kind of stuff. I think it was fun.
Yeah, I was with it.
But you know, like there were some flavor. It was like flavor items and abilities there, but like Orla took Fey Touched for her feet, so she gained she had a very Fey Touched moment in that mini session. You took Brewer subclass, and you kind of had some cool things with what was it? You basically took your monk weapon as a mop handle and used it as a quarterstaff.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm going through this Yu-Gi-Oh
Blade
deck.
Singer, Alchemist, Kobold Alchemist is fun. Durgar, Blood Hunter.
Draw Blade Singer, Kobold Alchemist, Durgar, Blood Hunter, Lycan.
I haven't gotten behind a Blood Hunter yet. I'm not
Well, you just haven't said the right thing to a blood hunter.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. It's just I think I don't think
Half-orc
I've
monk.
half-orc monk of Hercules. That's cool. I'll tell you the I don't think you guys have run into any, but the Genasi, the half genie.
Yeah.
I like them as a character. I think that they have very cartoony art that doesn't seem to make sense to me.
How are you supposed to do like a djinn as like a...
So get this. You guys haven't come across one, but if you ever do, or when you do, this is how it's gonna roll.
It's happening on Sunday, I bet.
Is that and it's like straight from Neil Gaiman American Gods, is they're just a normal person. There may be a small thing about them that gives off, you know, their eyes are lit with flame. So that, you know, in the book the dude wears sunglasses, so you can't see his eyes.
Even inside.
He's a
Sun
taxi
never
driver,
sets.
but whatever. So it's like one of those things that like you have this. It's almost like you're a sorcerer, but without the sorcerer class, and you just have this lineage. But that's also the same thing with everything in our world, is like everything derives from either elves, dwarves, or humans.
Okay.
And then the planar collision added all the other things. So you have tieflings because the plane of the hells. You have one of the
She
good
just
ones.
broke it again.
Yeah. You have Asimars because the plane of the celestials. Like, you have these mixed species races kind of blending together. And then I also was like, all right, well, what if a gnome is just like an elf and a dwarf? Half elf is just an elf and a human.
What?
A human and a dwarf make a halfling. Like, I don't know, that's kind of like it in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of fun. So that's kind of our world. But in your world, there's one god that made everything. The primordial dragons, the titans shattered. Oh man. Each shard became its own god. And after killing the titans, spread cultures, hierarchical cultures, human variants. I really like. I'll be honest. One of the campaigns I'm playing in right now is a. We were talking about mythology in session 0. We're like, what does everybody want to play? What mythos, like what pantheon do you want to play? And we're a group of we're all DMs. We're rotating DMs in the session, so you get 2 to 3 sessions. Then somebody else takes over as GM, and the person that was GM kind of gets cycled into the party. And as you get cycled through, you only have one character, unless they die, then you get a backup. But you only have one character, so when you cycle out or cycle in, you're still that thing. You're still a part of the same party. You're still taking. But yeah, we were like, well, what do you like? What is one? What does everybody know? And GM was like, all right, well, what about Norse mythology? Everybody has a relatively solid handful, of Norse mythology knowledge. And yeah, we went with that, and I kind of like it. It kind of.
Would you like to describe for Vortexus your current character, because it is so perfect?
It's a paladin of Surtur that is going to find Surtur's helm, assist him with defeating Freya, and bring Ragnarok. So I am a level 3 warlock.
That thinks that they are
that thinks they're a paladin, 100%. So they think it's fun. Like,
do you ever think that like
warlock running around in armor too heavy for me?
I will smite thee?
I took some feats, so that helps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Boo.
took some feats, but I do. And it was warlock pact to the blade, so I have a great sword. So I'm like even more paladin-y. So I have medium armor, I have a great sword, and like I'm packed with blade. Cool. I'm efficient with it, or proficient with it.
Yeah, and efficient. Sounds like.
Yeah. Evil cleric. We were just talking about that. We were talking about Zack Snyder, naturally, as one does.
Yeah. He lives rent free.
and we're talking about Suicide Squad. We're thinking that would be a cool campaign, and really in any, not just D&D, but I think in any game, if you ran you are all, or even start in jail too, and like bust out, but there's like somebody that says, "Hey, I'm helping you bust out," and joke's on you. It's the government.
It's Viola Davis.
Yeah, it's Viola Davis, and and yeah, and then you became the task force, you know, and yeah, all of a sudden you're evil, but you can't. You're on a leash.
A relatively good leash, or like a chaotic good.
That's
leash.
cool. Took one of the DM ran an evil campaign and then took all the PC sheets and made them NPCs villains for the next campaign. So that's a cool idea. There was also
because then you'd have familiarity with the villains as
yeah.
well. Like instead of like a Curse of Strahd is just like there, and you can make him as familiar with your characters, with your player characters as you want or don't want.
Yeah.
And instead it's just like, no, like I have a physical mental connection with this character, this villain already, and like talk about really ramping up the depth of that world for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple examples of that kind of stuff happening, but that's cool. It's good stuff. Yeah, when you run a campaign, it's strange too, because like I don't know, when I talk to you guys about like what kind of campaign you want to run, a lot of the answers you get are, well, I don't care, like that's cool, or whatever, whatever you want, or whatever. And that seems to be a lot of reactions. I ask you guys, hey, how is the level of combat versus role playing that we're in? Are we doing enough exploration right now? What do you guys like? And we literally have a session every week to discuss that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like your weapons? Do you like your spells? What don't you like about your spells? Do you like your subclass? Like, it would suck to be like, no, I hate my subclass. I really wanted to change it, but instead I feel like I'm compelled to because I'm a part of this campaign now.
Yeah.
Those are the moments, the reviewing session 0, kind of jumping back into those moments, I think is crucial to make sure that you and your players are all having a good time. Curse Strahd plotting.
Have Strahd as Dimitri. Yeah, all right. I see you on that. That's dope. I might steal that.
Setting it all out
is the best one shot that D&D has ever created.
So setting it all out in the beginning is crucial, but reassessing that kind of stuff too, I think is a really good idea. Kind of again, you might not like the way your character plays. You might not like the things that are happening or the background you were given, and it's one of those types of games that it can last too long and it can be too much for you to have to go through it and be upset as you're playing, because I think there's a social pressure too to continue playing, and I think that kind of might not help the situation all the time.
Agree.
You guys don't. You don't have a healer.
Nope.
You have a bard, but
yeah, but like
that's real. That's not a healer.
No, like if in our current campaign, my character Marxus is a Tabaxi variant monk, and was just crowned the king of this world that we found, the Rhode Island, Rhodaria, and which is weird because Tabaxis are cat humanoids, right? And this Rhodaria is ran by the Rhodarians, go figure, but they are rat folk essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so king of the rat folk would of course be a fat cat. It just makes sense. And so like maybe Marxus is just gonna hang out there. Maybe somebody has sent somebody to assassinate the king of Rhodaria because he's an aberration and an evil one at that, and then they don't understand, so then they just stab Marxus and he dies.
Yeah.
You know? And I would absolutely be playing like some type of magic-based healer forward kind of character, I think.
Yeah.
Because then we could bust up the CR for all of our encounters and just be like, oh, you get healed, you get healed, and I need to do it myself. And,
I think you're overestimating battle healing, man.
No, yeah, that's true.
I think battle healing is a little rough. I think any good heal is a 10-minute plus kind of ritual thing.
Damn.
But yeah, and if you do have a moment where you have a character and you're like, hey, listen, this isn't working for me, you have it be in game, in the narrative, work it in. You were saying a heroic death, a retirement, a walkabout moment. Like, hey, I need to just step away from this world of adventuring for a little bit. I can't be here. And maybe that character leaves for a little bit and either comes back up as, hey, they're an NPC now and they can help out the party, or hey, I've figured it out and I'm no longer a bard, I'm a monk. Or whatever it is. And that's the kind of stuff too, is
I don't
at the
like
end of the
singing,
day,
I like slapping.
at the end of the day too, you're playing games with your friends. Like, you should never feel uncomfortable, but that's a different conversation. But B, you like, it's, I don't know, it's one of those things like, so we play Gloomhaven.
Yep.
And I never understood, like, if you failed or Zombicides is another one that's kind of like this. If you failed a mission, the process would be that you failed the mission, you must redo the mission. Those games take 3 hours.
Yeah.
If I failed a session, if I failed a battle fight in D&D, and then they were like, all right, cool, restart, you're back in the beginning. Even that's different because it's a little less.
Yes. Because Gloomhaven and Zombicide are both like exploration
Tactical,
based.
yeah.
Like as far as the whole overarching game
And
itself.
like it's just, it's too much time spent to be doing something that A, you've already done, or B, you don't want to do. Oh, the bard shows up 6 months later after singing his life about being a cleric of Bacchus. That's great.
Yo, Vortexus, you should be a guest DM on a one shot for us.
Yeah.
That would be.
Play that.
I could absolutely get behind a couple fun super character builds that you're kind of coming up with here.
I like the other domains. I like the stuff that's not D&D domains. I think that's kind of fun, and it kind of gives it a different feel. A Theros campaign would be cool with Greek mythology. They kind of have a Greek-ness going, but I think that they're really trying to pull from the Magic Gathering setting.
Yeah, we're like your party is like a group of hoplites that the entire legion gets destroyed, and there's 4 hoplites left, and you are the 4, and one of you is a archer, one of you is a shield, one of you is a spear, and the other one is I'm just a farmer, man. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing here, but I can sing.
You ruined my farm. I'm supposed to live here.
I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah, and man, I don't know, that's cool. There was that's another thing too, is like putting your party in a band of soldiers, and that's where they start, and that's how they know each other. And then there's a drive, and you've already have a connection. You don't need to find a patron for missions. You don't need to find any of that. It's already implicitly there. Actually, that's a pretty good starting point. If you are starting as a DM and you want to kind of throw together some homebrew things, I would say reduce the initial thoughts that the players have to go through to find missions. Yeah, you can start them in a bar. Yeah, there can be a job board, but if they're a part of, if they like we said, a Suicide Squad, if they're a Suicide Squad, they have somebody feeding them missions. If they're hoplites in a Greek army, they have people feeding them missions. you know, and they can branch out from there too, obviously. But if
Maybe like the Legionnaire, the general is like
yeah,
being controlled by something else, and blah blah blah. Yeah.
yeah, you can have
Wormtongue.
yeah, you descent in the ranks. You can have corruption in the ranks. You can have ulterior motives. All of that can then start to lead to some intrigue, for sure.
Read this comment, bro. This sounds like something that you would create.
The party was
honestly.
being stalked by that one, Ogre.
Yeah.
Ogre Manhunter and his animal companion is a dire wolf. Party saw the wolf, and a noble genie warlock wanted to roll a history check to see if he knew what kind of wolf it was. That one, so I told him, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a werewolf." Naturally, he went on to cause panic in the small farming village. Yeah, that's you guys. Yeah, you guys are. And the thing is, like,
Oh
you
no,
don't even,
this is what we understand. Panic.
you don't even need to roll nat ones, because you guys would be like, I don't trust him.
Yeah. Well, no, you,
And,
you rolled a
from now
natural
on,
20
if
on
you
your
guys
insight
say
check.
the word trust, if you say the word trust, I'm saying the word insight check. Words, insight check. That's all you. That's it.
He's told us this multiple times that whenever it's like, I rolled a 19 plus 3 for my insight check. Yeah, this person is genuinely trying to help you. Nah, no, I don't
Seems
trust that.
shady.
Nobody does something for free.
I was just re-listening to one of our sessions, and I was trying to get you guys down to walk into a hallway, a 6-foot hallway, and I continued to describe it as a 6-foot well-lit hallway with window, like you can see the
I don't trust
outside,
it.
to go get your reward for the job you already did. And you guys were like, I don't know, man, I really don't want to be here. And I'm like, it's a hallway. It's 6 feet. I can lay down and be at the end of the 6-foot hallway.
Nope, don't trust it. Don't trust it.
And yeah, you guys are, nope.
We will go the
Don't.
opposite way. I will use my crowbar to slash a hole in the wall and then pull the girders out, and we will sneak through.
Yeah, you guys went off the rails. That was fun though.
Yeah. That kind of slows us down a little bit, though. Like when we decide to go to a thrift shop for an entire 3 hours.
Well, that, I mean, but also like, what does it slow you down for? You know, are you guys having fun? At the end of the day, like meta world, are you having fun when you're doing it?
Yeah.
Then you're good.
All right.
You know, if there is a timeline that you've been given, I could understand being or feeling like you're slowed down. But if if you're having fun, then there you go.
Yeah. I do get frustrated when they debate. Yeah, the like analysis paralysis kind of thing.
We have
right?
a lot of that. And we've
If
kind
the
of nipped it
old
in the
woman
bud
that
lately.
brought their blood and apparently has a blind mute daughter. Like, they're super evil then, right? Clearly sorcerers.
A woman bought their blood.
Yeah, like sometimes maybe like a poisoner or I don't know. Dope. I would buy blood. Should I not say that out loud?
Yeah, don't buy blood.
But what if I'm making blood sausage?
You have your own.
I wouldn't want to use my blood.
So there you
in
go.
blood
She was an
sausage.
anatag that was hexed.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, can't be trusted then.
No. Insight check 20. They're
Yep.
they're fucking super evil.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
The party sold their blood to her to make awesome potions for
Did
them.
they just bleed into a bucket?
I don't know how that works.
Like just bloodlet?
Stab, quick stab.
Couple drops. Usually for like most poisons or potions or whatever, you don't need a whole lot of blood. It's like drop of one prince's blood.
Oh yeah, you well versed in Annis Hag potions?
I'm well versed in the potions and poisons that I make with my own blood.
That's true.
Oh yeah, so she cut him and then did it with the fingernail and then licked the cut shut. That dude. Distrust.
Yeah,
Distrust.
don't
dude.
trust her.
Run away.
I
Bring
just had
back
a,
an entire army with
yeah,
you.
I just had a hallway that had treasure at the end of it where it was well lit. Not even like a weird ominous treasure. It was a person saying, "Hey, I want to give you this treasure."
Don't trust it. I don't trust it, dude. Nobody gives you something for free.
You did a job. You didn't. You...
Still, I don't trust it.
Yeah, you guys.
This is why.
A delight.
We are
moving
worst.
slow.
We are the worst.
And then you guys have a good habit of debating, and now you've kind of fallen into this like the opposite. You've fallen into this, I don't think debating will solve this, let's charge in.
Yeah. Very, very Marxist style, just like, kind of sick of this, we're going in. And everyone's like, no, let's not.
I
like,
do like,
too bad.
though, that as a character development thing, Marxist has found a voice. Earlier episodes, it was more of, I'm drunk and drinking and slurring and nonsensical, and that was it.
Yeah, especially towards the end of the session, Marxist gets a little bit more nonsensical.
That's fair. But I like the idea that, like, Marxist is kind of like has these very wise truths when he's drinking,
Truth
or like
serum.
truth, or wise like viewpoints, and yeah, like kind of, he's definitely evolving as a character too. I think everybody is. I think it's strange to see Kata swing from so far from left and then so far to right and back and forth. I've been thinking about giving him. I don't think he's watching this, but I think I've been giving him a weapon that only is active or like better when he's in lawful mode.
Oh.
So when he swings to chaos mode, the weapon shuts down.
Or maybe like it shatters and it's just the hilt that's left in the hand.
Ooh,
and then it
that's
reforms cool. as he becomes more lawful, then it starts to reform itself.
And then I was thinking about giving him another weapon that is the opposite. So he has these two hand axes.
The literal double-edged sword.
There's these two hand axes that are chaos and law. And he has to use one or the other at the time.
Oh, are you gonna name them too?
I'm not gonna name him. He might. I don't know. We'll see. I've
Well,
only named one weapon.
Weapons, right?
I've only named one weapon in all D&D.
I feel like people should name their weapons. Player characters should name their weapons.
Absolutely. I think it's super cool, especially if it's done something. If your weapon has defeated something grand, it definitely needs a name. And the one that I have named is Thekis, an NPC. She has a greatsword as a rune knight, and the greatsword's name is Vice.
Dope.
Because she's like this lawful paladin, like lawful like
Miami
fighter.
Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is her Vice.
Does she have scrunched up sleeves?
No.
Oh man.
Although, if anybody wants any dope fan art, I think Thekis in a 80s scrunched up sleeve.
Oh yeah, white suit.
That would be totally fucking. That'd be great, Thekis.
Man. I wish I was artistic.
Tanari and Baator. I don't know what those names mean.
Nope.
But
I was gonna be like, you call one mess, and you call the other order. Right.
What are the names of the odd couple?
Ooh, intern, bring that up.
Do that. That'd be cool.
Felix Unger and Oscar Madison.
Unger and Oscar.
Oh.
Are those the actors?
It stars Tony Randall as Felix Unger and Jack Klugman as Oscar Madison. Oscar and Felix.
I like Oscar and Unger. It's that alliteration, man. Okay, cool. That's cool. The demons were called
yes.
Tanari and devils were called Baator. That makes sense. That's cool. I like that aspect between fiends and devils, demons and devils, that balance. Yeah, so weapons.
Weapons. Go on.
Yeah. I don't know, we were talking about items, you know. We kind of fallen into weapons.
I think Marxist might have to come up with a name for the adamantine.
The candelabra.
Candelabra.
The adamantine candelabra.
Yeah.
I think it's great that it's just he's found a broomstick as a quarterstaff, and now this candelabra.
Wick pick.
I think that wick pick. I think that if he just keeps finding like these things, it would be great.
Sensuous smells.
That's weird.
There is if you do Google search on names of candles, Google will absolutely recommend, if you have a candle business, you could name it Flame Game, Wick Pick, Waxworks, Elegant Radiance, which is a great name for a paladin sword, Radiance.
Elegant Radiance.
Or just Radiance.
I'll be honest.
Like the sword of the dawn, right?
If
Classic
you
candle,
in the
smells,
ballpark have Google names of, and then find anything on there, I guarantee we can find an item that it suits. Yep, click that one.
Of flowers. All right. Rose, lily, tulip, orchid, carnation, hyacinth, Peruvian lily, chrysanthemum.
All of those could be swords.
And
that's too easy.
Yeah, all right. Names of...
Maybe something that could be branded. Not like branded, but like, hey, branded. I like how that's my version of that's just my advertising voice.
Names of Bratz dolls?
Oh god, that sounds terrible.
No, yeah, let's see here. We got what are the list of Bratz characters? Chloe, Jade, Sasha, Yasmin.
Those are just names though. Like those are like, I don't know.
Sasha is
I guess I don't know what I'm trying to Google.
Sasha's a good name for a weapon. Isn't Sasha the name of the machine gun that the Heavy uses in Team Fortress 2?
I don't know. I never played TF2. Yeah. I don't know.
Fortress 2 is so good.
I don't own that many hats.
So good. Thank you, Vortexus. Do not touch Sasha. He's like looking at, because it's a minigun, and he's like rotating it, and he goes, "Who touched Sasha?" And he's like looking around. It's hilarious. Yeah, Sasha, Baron Cohen.
Yeah. I did ask you guys, so we do a warm-up question.
Yes.
Before every session, and I think I'm going to change that. I recently started listening to a podcast, and they just kind of said, tell us a fact about your character. Any fun fact. Not necessarily like a fun fact, but any fact. Because I think the one I'm listening to is a little bit more comedic, but any fact. So like, make something up that week, or whatever it is, or whenever you think about it, and say, oh, Marxus would probably be this, or is probably favored this, or, whatever it is.
If Marxus knew what a television was and had Netflix, Marxus's favorite Netflix show of Marxus would be...
See, I feel like you're bringing too many ifs.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can't roleplay off of that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you instead said Marxus one time was caught stealing food from what would a monastery's cafeteria be called?
There's a Monateria. Portmanteau.
Yeah.
And that's how you bring it around. What would you subscribe to Lol's OnlyFans?
Oof.
It's a little too
It's a lot of leg.
That's a lot of leggies.
I hate that was such a good pun, and I just said out loud that it was a good pun, so sorry about it, but I think it was funny, and it was just such a deep cut. Like, if you're watching this, you get it, but if you stumbled across this video on YouTube and you're like, oh, I wonder what these guys are talking about, you have no idea what. Yeah. But I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna kind of lean harder into
that roleplay aspect.
To that roleplay aspect, and it can be a little anecdote, it can be a little fact, it can be a little whatever it is. But then if that ever comes up, then that's canon. That's like fuel for role play.
Speaking of Zack Snyder and canon,
Yeah.
have you seen I think it was last week, was the debate about Batman
And Catwoman.
and Catwoman,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, Batman wouldn't do that.
I don't know if everyone was doing that. It sounded like everyone was like,
Yeah.
it happens, it's a thing.
A couple nerds in their basement, like us sitting.
Particular individuals that want to sell products branded as Batman, I think were the biggest culprits.
Disney.
No.
Well, not that's Marvel.
It was like DC in general. Was like they were like, no, you can't do that because a hero we can't. And I think the better argument was like, we can't sexualize something that we're trying to sell to children. That would be the appropriate argument.
Sure.
But I also believe that I think it was a cartoon.
Superman absolutely would. He is the best of us. And next question. Move on.
Next
Decided.
song.
Next song.
I think that would be the argument, but that's also granted if it is a kid's cartoon. I don't think it is.
No. Are you bringing?
I haven't watched.
I haven't watched a
Harley Quinn.
9-year-old into the Snyder Cut.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Is Captain America soldier Captain America or
With
nomad
his
Captain America?
1940s morality.
No.
I think morals has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a morality thing. I think it's just a like trying to please your partner thing. And I think that if it was Peggy, yeah.
This is the topic for our OnlyFans.
This.
Nope. No.
Taking my shirt off now.
Oh God. Items. Let's talk about items. Dedicated Captain America discovering the cesspool of the internet for the first time. Yeah, I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's a
America
comic
on Instagram and
I don't think
having
that's
like
a
an
whole
Instagram live and then just being like, he just shut it down as soon as he sees like.
Like I don't see that as a
face.
I don't see that as a whole comic. I see that as a Far Side clip, and all it is like all you see is him on the computer, in front of it, the glow of the computer. You see from the back the shield leaned up against his chair, and he's just like blown away.
What is this?
No
4chan?
pun intended.
Terrible.
Yeah. So yeah.
AJ.
Yeah.
If you're not a paladin but totally thinks they're a paladin warlock, named their greatsword, what would it be?
Well, he is already the Order of Paladins are the Sons of Muspel, which are actually those that follow Surtur and Muspelheim, which is the realm of fire in the connected to the world tree. I don't know, man. I fucking dove deep.
Whatever, nerd.
Yeah. No, I'm not a nerd. You're a nerd. But yeah, Jormunder's Fang. That's good. I like that.
What's the horn on the helmet of a Surtur?
I don't know.
What are those called? The
I don't know. It's just a horn, right?
I think so.
I think or like Fenrir's tooth. Because Fenrir kills, spoiler alert, Fenrir kills Odin just before this battle happens. It might not be Fenrir, it might be Fenris. I get those two confused just because of the name.
Ooh, did find a list of 11 legendary Norse myth weapons.
There you go.
Obviously,
Read those
Mjolnir is number one. I think most people know what Mjolnir is. Gram. Gram was the sword of two of the most popular Norse heroes, Sigmund and Sigurd. Okay. Angor Vidal. A stream of anguish. That's great. What's your weapon's name? A stream of anguish. You must say it the entire way.
A stream of anguish.
That is exactly how Kato would react. You say the whole name. Oh, so it's just anguish.
No, it's
Stream of anguish.
Stream of anguish.
Gungnir,
Um,
which is Odin's spear.
Yeah.
Yep. Levitan.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
I forget
That's
what
Bloodline.
I forget what the axe is called. There's a
Freyr's
when
mysterious
Thor
sword.
when Thor has an axe, he's a
Stormbreaker.
no
Stormbringer.
no. You're right. It's Stormbreaker in the Marvel universe, but I mean, even then, I think in the Marvel comic book universe, it has a different name. Yeah. You is it Vortexus? Yeah, Vortexus is mentioned a cursed item. A dagger, as it kills, gains souls that fuels the Lich's phylactery. And upon so many souls, it would be interesting to see the soul count get higher and the weapon either increase in power or add different aspects. And even better, it'd be cool. And this is me because I love roll tables and I love the random part of the world. But if you rolled randomly on the minor or major details of that from the DMG, I think that would be cool. That'd be fun to play around with. And then why? I like rolling on those random tables and then implementing it into our world.
Okay.
And saying, all right, cool. How would an
Forseti's
NPC
axe.
use this? Why is it laying around in this dungeon? And then kind of work off of that. Give it a reason that it would be there.
There is the Forseti's axe, the golden battle axe that Forseti, or Fosite in Frisian mythology, used to save the old sages of the wreck, and then threw the axe to an island to bring forth a source of water. Dope. Sword of the Danish king, sword of Surtur. A sword made by dwarves in the Elder Edda. Kill a man when drawn, and then would eventually kill its wielder. Tyrfing.
Jarnbjorn was the name of the axe. Or Jarnbjorn. Jarnbjorn? Jarnbjorn? Jarnbjorn?
Where do you see it? Oh, Jarnbjorn. Jumbo.
And yeah, I think that like that's a cool moment to give an OP item too. Is like
It allows the Lich in the
take
dagger
over.
to take
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the wielder. Dope.
and that's totally Lich though.
Dope.
That's so Lichy.
That is Lichy, brah.
That's right up a Lich's alley.
That's. Oh man.
Oh man, that's a cool district. Is Lich's alley? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have a drink at Lich's Alley.
Yeah, it's a good bar.
Yeah.
Good bar name.
Yeah. Quick question for you. What is your favorite bar name that you haven't used yet?
Oh man.
Because I know you have like 12 bars in
Can I tell you
6 different cities.
if you can I'll be honest, I've used the two of my favorite. And this is the reason why. That nobody got it. Nobody understood the connection.
Damn.
But you had two bars that were related to a group of monks that have some relation to Tiamat, the five-headed dragon. There was the Five Crowns flagon, which is crown head, flagon, dragon. And this is my favorite, I think. The double-story dive.
Don't get it.
Because in our world, Tiamat has two tails.
I get it now.
Yeah. I can't believe you.
Nice, dude.
Thanks,
Those are
man.
really good.
Thanks.
Those are like really good.
I was like really excited for them, and like nobody got them. And then now that you guys are out of that area,
That's a session 113 thing, right?
yeah, that was cool. But yeah, Marcus doesn't know that, so spoiler.
No, not at
alert.
all. Knows what?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think, and that's another cool thing too, is like give your characters moments to like flesh out, especially in homebrew. But like flesh out your world. Like I had two. I was fucking insane. I had
Yeah.
It was about as boss as I get. It's about as East Coast as I get right there.
Fucking
It was
insane,
fucking
bro.
insane. I had like an hour and a half conversation with Bob about dragon lore, and I kept asking him questions, and he kept having answers, and it was
Yes.
like getting to the
World building.
point where we were talking about dragon mythology the way that you would talk about Norse mythology. It was fucking crazy. Like, Platinum Dragon, Tiamat was like, "Oh, I want to court Arathis, the goddess of civilization." And that's how Dragonborn were made. Is the combination
Oh,
between
because
dragons
literally,
and civilization.
Dragonborn.
And in order to do that, he had to give a part of himself away. So he dropped his tail. And that's why Dragonborns don't have tails. And Tiamat, being the greed, took the tail. And that's why it has two tails. Yeah.
Because the
Dude,
second tail is
and this
made up
is
of
like-
all dragon
And
tails.
this is like a conversation I'm having
So
with
dragons
one of
are
my best
basically
friends. And I'm
iguanas.
just like, dude,
He's
tell me
best
about
man at
this.
dude's wedding.
Yeah, and this he's just like off the top of the dome, like, oh yeah, and then like, you know, something maybe he drops his tail, and you know, that's
Sews
why
it on.
that's why this. And then you guys you like that, and that's what started the bread thing. Is the twisting bread that looks like two tails.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
We still haven't gotten down to
Bacchus
the
is a
full deal
lictor,
of
the
that yet.
gilded tap, the salty sea hag, the haunted oak, the drunken
Salty
dragon's
sea hag.
horde. Those are definitely good tavern names. Yeah, good tavern names. I don't know if I have a list of tavern names. I do have a list
sure
of
you have a spreadsheet somewhere.
yeah, I'm looking at all my spreadsheets right now. Yeah, I don't know. I have a drinking contest from last campaign that I didn't use. Yeah,
Does Marxist want to know this?
I don't know. You guys haven't come across a group of
I feel
individuals
like
who want to
Marxist
drink,
as
but
king is going to be really into like drinking and debauchery. So I
getting
mean,
what
he
is
did
the
mash a dude's head?
what is it where your foot goes bad? Gout. Getting some gout real quick. That king's disease.
King's gout.
King's gout.
You say tavern. They say, you mean temple? I am the gilded tap. I use the golden lasso.
Hard water or holy water. Hard liquor, not hard water. That's a different thing. Hard liquor
No, yeah, that'd be
as
fire
holy
water.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm
What
a
did
monk.
we call
holy
it? I forget
water.
what it was. We called that something in the first fucking session, and I can't remember what it was because I didn't really listen to it. I didn't re-listen to it because we don't have sound for you, so it's hard to listen to.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's why I'm excited about it, our recap, and that way you can cover everything. You get the gist of it, and you can join us now. You don't have to feel like you're missing out.
Previously on Roll
Yeah.
for Revelry.
Dun dun dun. I have to add another dun because of
Yeah, or else
copyright.
we were about to- NBC was
We gotta
about to be
get
like,
real
"Oh,
stewed.
they're about to send Detective Stabler to our house to rough us up."
Moradin's Tears. Moradin's Tears is the name of the liquor that I would give my players or offer the players at a tavern that is made purely of oh shoot, what's that creature in the Underdark that's like a crab lobster?
Crab people look like crab, taste like
No,
people.
you guys fought one though
Oh yeah, we did.
last campaign. Help me out if you got it. But yeah, it says so. It says in their lore like their blood can be made into liquor or distilled because it has an alcoholic flavor to it or something.
Somebody has homebrewed a crab folk race.
Dude, there's homebrews for everything. There's homebrews all around. If you need a homebrew, Google it and you'll find a homebrew.
They are very hardy to do their rough living. Constitution and score increases by 2, strength by 1. They live up to around 150 years. Medium, 25 feet. You'd think they move faster than that.
No, they got to move
Crabs on
sideways
land are
though.
pretty quick.
I would imagine you could move faster but sideways. Yeah, no, not a chul. I forget what it's called. It's lower. It's lower level. They're like but chuls are cool too. But they're demons. I think. What are these things called?
Giant hermit crab.
It was with it's like when you guys were like fighting the Chitine. It was a fun encounter. It was a fun little dungeon. It was like the first true dungeon I did. And if you're looking for aberrations, if you're looking for like a really easy, good intro dungeon, do a mine. Do a mine, do a cavern, do something like that. There's not distinct rooms. There doesn't need to be specific things in each room. It's just a room full of rocks. You know, you can put anything in there. And yeah. I think it's super cool.
Cartographer's tools in PHP.
Yeah, I saw that.
Boom. Cobbler's tools. Does that mean they make like
Cave
desserts?
Fisher. Cave Fisher is what I was looking for. Cave Fisher.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Restarting your game. That'd be cool. Kids themes are awesome.
Yeah, there's the library here in where we live. They have, I think it's every other Sunday.
Oh, really?
They have like 2 D&D players, and they just like run D&D games for little kids.
That's cool. I'd be totally down to do that if we had to bail for a weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shoot. We should just start playing on Friday nights. Nobody does anything on Friday nights. It'll be fine. It'll be real easy to schedule that out.
Yeah.
No. COVID restrictions, people getting shots. This is all great. That's the reason why we are able to play in person is the
Yeah.
want more of that. More of that before these other variants keep coming around. I'm looking at you, Delta. Because we're Delta and life is terrible. Get the jab as soon as you possibly can.
Man. Understand it's there's certain things that prevent some people.
Ooh. Rough.
Certain
No wonder
things
you're
that,
typing.
Yeah.
That was rude.
Yeah. And also, how is he can't. Yeah.
You can
Anyways.
pop in the Discord. I don't know.
Yeah. Items. Anything last item chat?
Last item on the item list.
Last items on the items list. We talked about here's our recap. We talked about general items. We talked about a little bit about magic items. We didn't really get into we talked about magic weapons.
Yep.
We can save magic items for another time, but I'll tell you this much. Uses we've talked about. I have looked on I think it's Xanathar's that has a grid, and it basically says your character should have this many minor items and this many major items in between this many levels. And it's strange because also any items that came out after Xanathar's don't have a major or minor like identifier to them.
It's the opposite of retconning, just like completely ignore now.
Well, no, it's just because in Xanathar's they had a list, they had a grid or a chart that was like, these are all the white items that exist already. Here's what they would be classified as. So instead of saying common, uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary, epic, that kind of stuff. I don't know if epic's a real one. I think that's just
Epic.
Other games. That's Borderlands coming out, but
Yep.
they categorize all of them into minor and major, and I understand that, but I think the way I break them down, a minor item is simply anything that's consumable. A major item is anything that's not, and that's how I kind of break them down. You do occasionally you want to give these items out. I think it's better to give out an item that is very utility based early on. I haven't done that with you guys.
Nope.
I think you guys are going to start seeing some magic items. I think you might already have some magic items. Who knows? We'll see.
Who do we need to tell to explore their pack?
Who knows? We'll see. Conducting.
I have a question for you, AJ.
Yeah, what's that?
Oh, what is this? What is it?
Creating a orchestra music by waving it around. It's the wand of conducting. It's kind of cool. On a nat 1, a sad tuba sounds plays. And the wand crumbles to dust and is destroyed. Wah, wah.
Do you know Gina played the tuba her freshman year of college?
Really? College? Did
Yep.
she ever play it before, or did she just get right in with the tuba?
I think she just did it to like as an elective or something. But they played Weezer's Beverly Hills, and her job during that song was boom boom, boom boom, boom boom, boom boom, boom boom.
The entire
boom,
time.
boom. That's how the bass line.
That's
goes
how
in that
bass.
song.
Yeah, that's how basses go in general. What was your question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
The PHP, there's a page on trinkets.
Yes.
Rolling the D100 for trinkets.
I've wanted you guys to roll on the trinket page in both campaigns, and I just forget for our session 0.
One of the things that it does say in the PHP, the DM might also use this table. It can help stock a room in a dungeon or fill a creature's pockets. Filling a creature's pockets, because then it's like rolling a 1 is a mummified goblin hand.
I'll tell you this much. I especially with new players, I am against red herrings.
That's fair, because we would get way too interested in it.
I think that it's and it's strange because I've recently heard Campaign Breakdown, and I heard the words red herring a lot, and to me that's like you led your characters down this path to try to get them to think about one thing, and in reality that's not the truth, and it distracted them from something else. I don't know if that's changing a DM changing their mind, if that's a DM like wanting to go another route or wanting to implement small ideas that a grander idea is caught onto. I think that if you have a Chekhov's gun situation, you need to eliminate it quickly, or take it and run with it. If and then that way that's the cooperative storytelling going on. If you're setting up for, I feel like you're setting up for disappointment. And please, if somebody else thinks about this differently and can explain it to me, change my mind. I would love to figure that out. But to me, again, it kind of goes back to that there's so much gameplay available that why have it wasted on misleading your characters so that they can't go down the right path? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I as a mostly player character, I would see that and be like, this mummified goblin hand, clearly hyper important.
And that's the other thing too, is these trinkets, they can fill pockets, they can fill dungeons, but your players are going to think that it's a thing. And unless you're a DM that is ready to accept that, the players are going to be a part of the narrative, which I think they should, and I 100% believe that. But if you have something else in mind, don't roll on this table. If you don't have anything in mind, roll on this table, throw a trinket into somebody's hand, and see what happens and run with it. You could easily say a mummified goblin's hand. Who mummified it? Who's collecting goblins' hands? Those are the questions that your players are going to ask. And then they're going to start walking around. And then you as a DM need to start coming up with mummifiers and goblin hand thieves. Or whatever it is. Whatever it relates to. And that's when the pushback from the players is back on. Now the burden's back on you, and you need to make something of that. But if you just throw it in there and you're like, oh, it's just a goblin's hand, whatever. There's so many other things that you can fill a monster's pockets with. There's entire worlds of crafting that you guys don't really touch,
No.
but you could.
Broke my crafting tools on session 1.
Yeah, you did. But if you introduce those types of things, you know, like if it's an orc, they can easily have anything that does matter bring out a hook to basically anything that's human. Any humanoid can bring out intrigue and city hooks and all of these other things that can catch, and you can fill those monsters' pockets with that kind of stuff, with other hooks, with other things. If it is a creature of any kind, basically non-humanoid, you can fill its pockets with anything that would be crafting material. You want a blue dragon armor? Find some blue dragon scales.
Okay.
I don't think that you need to resort to doing this because I think it's misleading, and I think it's a Chekhov's gun situation. And that's how I feel about it. If you think differently, by all means, please leave a comment, shoot us a tweet. You can check us out on Twitter at Roll4Revelry, Roll for Revelry. We're also on YouTube with Roll for Revelry.
Yeah.
And we are on Twitch with Roll for Revelry. And we stream Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for our campaign.
Yeah.
And then now we've been streaming Tuesdays, 7 p.m.?
Yeah.
Tuesdays, 7 p.m. We've been doing our hangover, which is kind of a breakdown of the session prior. We talk about what players have learned, what DMs have learned, how we could change things that we have done, if there's any advice that goes out. And then we've been doing occasionally DMs, corners, and chats like this one.
Yeah.
On Thursdays.
Where we just talk about
Dungeons
and
start
Dragons.
talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
And then we go talk about Zack Snyder. And then we talk about...
We're just two guys with ADHD
Marvel.
talking about one thing that obviously leads to 700 unrelated things.
Yes.
So I kind of
Like
alluded
list of
us
magical
into
weapons.
led us into the last little section here of tonight. But Kobold logic. People expect me to have treasure in this chest. What if I fill it with centipedes and spring load trap? That is Kobold logic. That's great. That's great Kobold logic. I think that's not necessary.
Spring-loaded face hunter.
That's way better than filling it with a mummified goblin hand. Unless, like, I don't know, like,
What if the
like
hands grab you?
if it's like a trickster, like a Nilbog, or maybe even a goblin, or like if it's kind of like a malicious chaos kind of creature, I can understand throwing in a trinket for like randomness, but I think that it needs to be kind of alluded that this creature likes messing with people.
Yeah, some type of trickster
Yeah.
of some sort.
Do you have anything else for? Did we get anything cool in that unique Yu-Gi-Oh?
So there are apparently the structured decks come with almost all of the same cards,
Oh,
but there are a couple variants that you get. So we have
this is so silly.
a Possessed Partnerships,
Oh,
Hollow. We have a Grand Spiritual Art, Ichirin. We have Spirit Charmers with 4.
Are these good cards?
I have no idea. I have absolutely zero idea. Awakening of the Possessed, Nefariouser. Oh, Nefariouser, Nefarious or Archfiend.
All right? I may be sounding like an old man, but I believe Yu-Gi-Oh! The cards are part of the narrative, right?
Expound.
If you were to watch
I recognize this
Yu-Gi-Oh!
one from when I was a kid.
If you were to watch
Raigeki.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The character will
monsters.
be throwing cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so like,
And they have them like on their arm, and they're like da da da, and then the
and
field.
the cards do something. Cards
Yeah.
Pokeballs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then, I'm all caught up. I know exactly what this now.
Yep. It's
Okay.
They are the digital monsters. They are the pocket monsters. They are the
Man, that's
5
like
years after Pokemon had its
that's-
heyday. Then they tried. And
that's like some old
Yugi.
school 80s commercial branding. Where they're like, oh, we can't give you commercials about toys. We'll just make G.I. Joe a show.
yeah,
And then your kids will want to buy G.I. Joes. And then when they're older and they have disposable income, they'll spend thousands of dollars on a missile for an aircraft carrier that was sold in 1983.
can't wait because my dad has a bunch of those old toys from the basement G.I.
Yeah,
Joes.
if anybody wants to
specifically. And they
buy
are
any
the
old
Space Race
toys from
G.I.
us,
Joes.
let us know because we
Yes.
have a bunch of old toys.
And Vortexes, send us a DM on Twitter at Roll for Revelry. We would like to continue the conversation. You have some cool ideas.
Yeah, be cool.
And we're always looking for more people to continue
Yeah.
conversations with.
So again, my name's AJ,
I am Daniel.
and we are Roll for Revelry, and a couple members of Roll for Revelry. The
Yeah.
rest of the crew can't be here,
We're
but
2/5.
please check us out at where you can check us out at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Coffee. If you feel like supporting the show, feel free to drop by. I think we're going to try to put some rewards in that. I think like eventually it'll be like donation based character naming, like NPC names.
That's a good idea.
Kind of and then we'll when we get affiliate too, we'll have some cool maybe I think we're going to introduce inspiration tokens for advantage. Kind of allow chat to reflect their interest in the play a little bit.
And also when we hit affiliate, we will be giving away a custom Dogmite Dragon Glass.
Yeah.
Which
think I
would you
might
like
have
to display real quick, AJ?
Might have it. I sure do.
Yes, he does.
Oh no. Okie.
Poor
This is
Oki.
a dragon glass. A little dice box.
To the camera.
Put your dice up in there.
To the camera, not in front of our face. Boom.
This is Chichen, Caribbean rosewood. And a little magnet holds all your dice in there. I don't know where any dice are right now, but yeah, pretty cool. So we'll be giving that away on the stream.
Yep.
We've learned our lesson. Unfortunately, only the, what would we say, continental U.S.
Yes, contiguous United States.
Yes.
Sorry, Hawaii, Alaska, and Italy.
Yeah. We sent one to Italy.
Yeah, we
for
had our
first giveaway.
And, they won in Italy, and we were like, "We'll send it to you." And they're like,
we honored it. We
"I live in
figured,
Italy."
we didn't say that, but
Yep. Yeah, that's something.
like,
that
all right, we gotta bite the bullet on that one.
learned.
So we did.
Yeah.
But thank you all very much for watching. You know where to check us out, and we'll be back soon. We'll be back Sunday.
Yeah, we are back on Sunday.
Yeah, in live play. I'm excited.
Live play in the studio.
All right. Until then, have a good couple days. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
And may you always roll with inspiration.
Is that what we say now? Is that our sign off?
No, may you always roll for revelry.
Oh, we don't have a sign off.
No, we don't.
Sign off.
And that's the way the dice rolls.
Ha cha cha.